Friends, welcome back to you. Check out the Bitcoin halvening cycle. So what they do is we go to the Bitcoin halvening date and then we compare how each cycle goes. Obviously, the very big one up here was one of the first cycles. Yes, that was actually glorious. And then as you're going into the next ones, right, you have amazing, kind of amazing, McPoops, and then we are the black line now. I want you to think about, what do you think we're going to do in this cycle? Because as we approach these times, I've noticed there's a lot of cope. And not cope from me and you. Like, we're already like diminishing. I know how this story ends. But there's a lot of people that go, no. Everybody's way too bearish. It's going to blow your mind. I want to remind you of something. Let's say you believe in Bitcoin $300,000. All right, sweet. You know, to get to $300,000, it has to go to $100,000 first and then like basically stop. And then the market is basically going to ask you, you know, metaphorically, hey, are you still in or are you out? Are you going to hold or are you going to fold? Hodl or foddle? What are you going to do? Now, if you hold and you get it right, sweet. You get the boost. If you hodl when you're meant to be foddling, 95% wipeout on altcoins, and then another 3.5 years. So I'm not saying this to scare you, but this is actually the reality of the situation, okay? So I hope you have another perspective when you're looking at these, friends, because it is risk-reward. It is risk-reward. It's like if you buy something at $1, okay, and you're trying to get 10x out of it, okay, and it stops at 9. You go, well, if it comes back to 1, I've lost 9, and how much am I risking for that point? A lot of these things can screw with your head a lot. Because if you don't truly understand value, you don't have real conviction, then there is nowhere that is safe. Nowhere. Because in crypto, man, there are many pit stops. It'll hit a point and then just drop 80%. How do you explain risk reward in that metric? You don't. But when we're talking about these big macro multi-cycle type of perspectives and years, it's very important. But it's like day to day, week to week, don't stress about it. Let the little swing traders stress about it. They're the ones who end up wrecking themselves eventually. And they're the ones who regret the fact that they weren't able to hold. They will regret it, okay? How do you feel about current price performance? Do you think it will turn up for the better, or do you think we'll continue being poop? So this is pretty much where we are right now. We are going sideways here, waiting for the sleepy time to end. Checking out the comment section, we have Mr. Jofus saying, if ETH goes up, we go up more. So I'm sure Jofus is from Pulse Chain community out here. Yeah, absolutely. Ethereum is representing, I guess, like, you know, TradFi's risk on sentiment, you know, like yield hunting, you know, on top of just say Bitcoin store of value, whatever narrative they want to basically go through. Look what else we have. Say LukeyDuke. This has to be shaking people out. Maybe change the name during bear markets to Pussy Chain. I mean, friends, this is what I love, right? My post had nothing to do with Pulse Chain, right? It's a Bitcoin question. All right. But it's a testament to the cult. You notice like every time it appears, everyone's just like bang, bang, bang. It's just sticking in their mind. It is sticking in their mind. That's what you want, right? We don't actually care about these other chains. Don't you think it's interesting? There's anecdotal evidence. It's like, no matter what chain gets brought about in a topic of conversation, people come back to the Pulse Chain. They come back to Hex. They come back to Richard Hart, right? That's how sticky it is. Now, on the topic of that, friends, this is Pikachu with a nice sailor hat, all right? And this is Richard Hart with a sailor hat. You see the difference? Actually, is no difference. Now, this is the thing we're going to talk about. With regards to Richard Hart and streaming, now here's the thing, man. Like, if you're outside of the system, go watch one of Richard Hart's streams. And don't look at it in terms of salesman perspective, like, oh, to get in. Just think about it from the perspective of people outside of the system looking at it, learning. Are they basically interested? Are they curious? Do they learn? Can they get brainwashed? Okay, no matter what perspective or connotation you want to have with it. Yeah, okay, is it good? Yeah, you can learn. Is it bad? You want to get brainwashed? It doesn't really matter. Okay, attention, friends, attention. That's just to let you know, that's a shortcut to learning everything. Crypto is basically attention spans. That's what we're all trading, and it's network effects, right? So we always have like, if something's good, oh great, it's informational. People love it. Okay, if something's bad, they go, oh, it's brainwashing, whatever, or manipulation. But really, it doesn't matter. It's just grabbing attention. We just use different words. Now, Richard Hart is very good at captivating people. He is. With regards to his streaming, though, you would think moving $600 million is more legally risky than simply firing up a stream. So if you asked me, and I think I did make videos about this like a year ago, okay? A year ago, Pulse Chain, PulseX, the prices that just hit these bottom prices that they were at now. And I was thinking, well, he wasn't streaming or anything. I was thinking, man, it's really risky to move the funds. So if we were to get something first, it might be a stream first. Never happened. He actually moved the funds and just bought ETH, which is a bit of a twist, isn't it? Like you would think the $600 million sitting there, you would think it's more risky legally to play around with that, wouldn't you? It's kind of funny how we get things wrong all the time when we have to guess like this. So it makes you also wonder, why isn't he streaming? You don't know why. Maybe he's too scared to slip up. Maybe he doesn't actually want to stream. Friends, I learned actually this. I saw this from Donald Trump. When the energy is low, okay, when the energy is low and the polls aren't in the favor, this is easy as years ago, and the mood isn't like really behind you, they don't show up. They don't show up. They reserve their energy. They go do something else. All right. Now, I'm different. But obviously I'm not a billionaire, right? I'm not a famous person. So I grind. I don't care what anyone says. I believe in myself. Now, here's the thing. Of course, they believe in themselves, but they might be grinding in another way, which means they don't work in public, if you know what I mean. They aren't grinding like and letting everybody watch them. They're doing something in the background, which then means that when they do come out to public, there's a plan. There's a strategy. There's tactical approaches to these. There's Donald Trump doing his showman stuff or being funny. Okay, there's Richard Hart about, hey, which target audience am I going to go through? It's a different perspective, and rare humans do this. Not everybody even gets a chance to do it, and if they do get a chance to do it, doing it successfully is something else. Now, you don't have to like him or not, it doesn't really matter, but there's one of the guys who's got a coin attached to him, so it makes a lot of sense to study this, to analyze this, to check out, okay, what are the odds of him appearing or not? Friends, you've got to remember, right? Like, Soy Bankman-Fried back in 2020, everybody was watching basically Elon Musk talk about Doge, right? And Doge started pumping up to the heavens. And you can come check out the price chart right here. So this is Dogecoin chart, okay? Now, when you're looking at Dogecoin, friends, coming up to the heavens, I know this chart, it's absolutely enormous. But Elon tweeting about Doge and just sends it up here, bang, a 10x. And it comes up and he keeps tweeting about it again. And basically, Soy Bankman-Fried, in one of his interviews, he's like, yeah, so with Elon Musk, it's an interesting question. That's what he was talking about, right? And basically, is summarizing it. He said, they noticed when Elon will just talk about Doge, it goes up. So then they made a quick model. They're like, all right, what's a chance that he keeps talking about it versus not? And it was interesting. I'd never heard people coming and in like crypto tweet about this. Basically, you're like, you put your balls in, you're either going to make it or you don't. But these are all like short-term quant guys. That's how they think. They think, okay, if you've talked about a topic, what are the odds you will talk about that topic again in the next, say, 7 days? That's how they're all computing these models. And they go, oh, the odds that you will talk about it again is like 30%. So they go, oh, if there's a 30% chance that this thing can go up like another 25x, then it's worth taking the bet. And that's exactly what happened, right? So as soon as he started tweeting, they quickly make this model. And, you know, pretty much they ended up like smashing it. Look how much it ended up going up. Like it ended up going like, 13x. Now, obviously, they've got their own little metrics in how they do it. But isn't it interesting just to think about that? Well, I would now invite you as my friend with your very, very sharp elbows and your fluffy slippers to think about this. If Richard Hart was sitting on a throne on his streams like this, okay, this is pretty much his streams, right? He's sitting here. And he has all these different topics like, man, bang, bang topics, right?
Somebody asked what a liquidity provider is. Quite simply, on Uniswap V2, which Pulse X will be a fork of, you deposit two sides of a coin. So for instance...
So, you know, just explaining all this stuff. But he was basically reveling in his glory. All right? Now, you have to think about this, friends. If I gave you the greatest experience of your life, maybe chemically induced, maybe I literally gave you drugs, and you hit like a real high, wouldn't you try to see if you can get high again? By the way, that's literally like 99% of the world. Like you just feed them alcohol on a Friday night. 99% of people, they have a good time. They want to relive it again. They find a way to relive it. Well, we're trying to find the odds, okay? Imagine, by the way, you could buy a coin where you're like, hey, it makes money if someone who's tried alcohol retries like consuming alcohol in the next year or 2 years. Wouldn't you take that bet every time? You'd literally take that bet. You go, sign me up. Who's going to take the other side of that one? Imagine how hard it is, by the way, to find somebody to take their first drink and then they don't want to touch it again. That's like 1 out of like 500 people. You see? Well, we can use attention and network effects as our framework. And then we have like, you know, we have streams out here. We have a coin attached to this guy's name. We know when everybody thinks of Richard Hart, they think about Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, EHEX, BX, Inc. We think of all those, right? All that the whole ecosystem. And then you try to think, okay, if this guy was sitting at the top of the throne, metaphorically, and his own throne on stream, and he was at the top of the world and 10,000x and everything, and he was speaking about the coins going up, what are the chances he gets to do it again? You have to figure that out yourself. That's why I have to figure it out myself. But you don't even need him to win at it. You just need him to try. You just need him to try. You know, we can also do the same exercise for Elon Musk. What if Elon Musk throws in Doge for stuff? We don't need Doge to do another like 500x. It doesn't even need to be 85 billion market cap again. Okay? People are taking these bets, friends. You can take so many bets in crypto. It's insane. But we're trying to find the ones with the biggest upside. That's what you're trying to do. Because in crypto, the way I see it is like, well, you can't basically have any risk management anyway. Your risk management is you lose half your stack minus 50% loss. So it's not worth it. So it's like, okay, that's, by the way, this is like proper tech investing, where like the highest reward payout is you risk the whole bullet, either it hits zero or you get the unicorn. That's what it comes down to. But you see, he already moved the funds, friends. He already moved the funds. It's like he knew, hey, no matter what I do on streaming, that won't return it to glory. Being long Ethereum, that's going to return it to glory. He's basically speaking with his actions, okay? That's why you're learning these. You're like, okay, what did he prioritize? See? We're learning this part as we go through, but also you've already got your bets. I'm just helping you understand the game more because people are going to look at, cash flow and like store of value and all these other coins, privacy and utility and what's this coin used for? It's kind of funny. No one asks what's Hex used for anymore. No one even asks that. Why? Because we just had like 118,000 pump.fun meme coins launch, Pepe and all these other things that existed. Like, dude, most of these coins do nothing. They literally do nothing. So they are just a symbol of you in a community. That's what they are, right? So you always got to think, hey, is somebody going to try to promote this community to get bigger? And never think about everybody in the community in terms of the community's too big, it can't onboard more people. Because if you think like that, you'll get it wrong most of the time. Basically, if a market cap is $1 billion of a coin, a lot of people in that community, you would think that they're going to sell and then go buy something cheap. They don't. They don't. A lot of these things that hit $1 billion, not all of them, but a lot of them, they'll just keep growing. They'll just keep growing. The positive momentum keeps feeding into itself. Because the market cap, it's representing people joining the network. It's not really a financialization product. Remember, because of Metcalfe's law. You see? It's kind of like if there's a party, let's say, if there's a party with 200 people, is the 201st person after they join in, are they going to look around and go, I want to go join a party with only 5 people now. I'm going to leave this house, go down the street, let's go to a party. It's just 5 dudes in the lounge room, right? People don't do that. But it's network effects. It's the same thing. In crypto, they don't do that either. It's just people trading with this trader mindset. They're doing it. And yeah, they're probably about 5 to 10% of the community, but they're not 90%. You see? So we have a 3D view of how these things work. But ultimately, all these prices, whatever it is, friends, Bitcoin, Ethereum, any altcoin, layer 1 chain, whatever the hell it is, it all comes down to this, okay? It comes down to crypto is 2 trillion and on its way to 10 trillion. That's literally what it comes down to. That is the bullish undertone you need, the global liquidity index rising. If that's happening, if we're right about that, everything else just falls into place. You don't necessarily know, okay, you're going to get this bet right or wrong. It's not about that. It's literally about, okay, this thing is cheap. The market isn't at 10 trillion now. See, you don't get this world where, let's say you're a stocks guy. You don't get a world where stock S&P 500 is beaming through the highs and you are buying a Warren Buffett type of stock at 90% below par book value. You don't get that. You know, when you read about, like, you know, the Intelligent Investor and Warren Buffett, you're like, oh, I want to do value investing. And then you actually get to it and you see that when you are given cheap prices in a stock, it's not because of like, oh, one person's just panicking. No. There'll be news and FUD around it. There'll be news. The market will like discount the stock like 50%. And they'll be like, oh, the market is scared that Amazon is going to get into the industry and these guys won't be able to compete. And they won't be able to compete on price. It's looking very bearish. You know, there's always a really captivating FUD story, what I've noticed with all these stocks. It's not easy. Same thing as crypto, right? But see, with crypto, the payout's worth it. With stocks, not really all the time. You know, but I hope you get to see. You have to open your eyes. This FUD, you don't get cheap prices unless people have to be giving it away to you, and there has to be a believable story. But that's when you and I come in and you go, you know what? Okay, your story, I believe you today. Okay, Richard Hart and court case and gag and all these other things. Okay, whatever the coin is. Yeah, okay. Your story is captivating today, but I'm not playing for today, man. You're basically, friends, it's the equivalent of you and I want to go kick a soccer ball on the field. And a cloud comes in the morning and now it's cloudy all day and it starts raining before we could even leave the driveway. And you're telling me, no, we can't go. It is cloudy and it's raining. And we're like, I'm saying, well, you know, one of these Saturdays it's going to be sunny, but I don't know which one. You get the point? It's the same thing with this crypto stuff. All they're doing is the clouds have appeared and everybody is yelling at this cloud that it's raining, it's raining, it's raining. I don't know. So there's nothing you can do. Okay, it's raining. We can't go out. The pitch is too wet. Eventually, though, it's going to be sunny. But you just that's the game of chance. That's why a lot of people feel uncomfortable with it. But this unknown, this unknown is what gives people basically the ability to really like sell value for 0 and 99% down, but also simultaneously have it in them to go like comet level, universally euphoric the next instant. They can do that. They can switch like that. The market can do that, right? If something's fair value is $1, they'll sell it at 1 cent. Also, they'll buy it for $10. It's kind of funny. You've seen it just to get in. Our job is to hold until we get to that point where they are buying $1 for $10 and telling us we're an idiot for not believing them, okay? That's our job. Make sure you like, subscribe, catch you next one.